Can you hear me? Okay, so it's going to be an interesting session again today. We look forward to creating another insightful solution that we also be working with that you can also share with people out there. Please remember to drop your name and where you're joining us from if you're just joining this session. It's the 8th lecture in this series, the 3-week series that we've been running. And it's going to be exciting. Just make sure you have your colleagues, your friends who are here to join, just prompt them so that they can also join the call with you. So in the next few minutes, we'll be starting. Thank you. All right, if you're just joining us, please remember to drop your name. So we're starting right away. Okay, so straight to it now. Okay, so today is the day, is the lecture 8 of the 3 weeks training. So the last, our last facilitator took us around sharing our solution, where she built a simple mapping a simple app that you could actually share with your friend. So we believe that you have, you learned a thing or two from there, and you can take that learning into the hackathon that you be, into the solution that you'll be building for the hackathon. So on this one, for this today, we'll be looking at mapping school at risk of health issues. We believe that, okay, when you have different schools around, it's also important that you have one health facility to actually complement it in a way that, okay, is able to mitigate any health implications or maybe any health complications that might occur in any of those schools. And it's one of the reasons why you might look at that area as part of the area that you could consider for your solution for this hackathon, like maybe building a solution that helps individual or maybe help policymakers to be able to know, okay, which schools, what schools in what location is at the risk of health complications in terms of their distance to the nearest health facilities, or maybe in terms of the availability of ambulances or maybe health workers. So, they could begin to look at different kind of, you can begin to create a lot of scenarios that could actually help in mitigating those kind of health risks that the schools might face. So today we'll be having another facilitator to take us through that. And before we do that, I want to run you through the timeline again so that you get to know, okay, what we've done and where we are and then where we're going. So these are some of the things that you need to pay attention to. Thank you. And if you're just joining the call, please remember to drop your name, where you're joining us from as well. Thank you. So quickly to the timeline. We've had the kickoff. Like I mentioned, we'll be looking basically to what and to some of the things that we've done as a way to kind of, as a part of the build up towards the hackathon and the grand finale. So the second part is that we've had, the first one is the fact that we've had the masterclass kickoff and the formal briefing, which held on the 18th November 2022. And the learning kickoff, part of what is currently ongoing, which started 22nd November. And we mentioned that it's going to run for 3 weeks, 3 classes per week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. So today is Wednesday. We're having the second series for this week, which makes the 8th lecture for the entire 3-week classes, which holds at 11 a.m. West African time via Zoom and also on YouTube. So please remember to remind your friends and colleagues and then your team members who are also in the hackathon with you. The registration for the classes is still open. We are not actually closing it, so you can still invite your friends and then you can also bring them on to join the hackathon. The submission deadline still remains 22nd of December. So we moved it from 18th of December to 22nd of December to give you enough time to be able to put together your solution for the hackathon. So that's more like an addition for you. All right, so we implore you to join the project group on Africa Geoportal using the link that you can see on your screen, which will also be dropped on the chat. So remember to join the Africa Geoportal, and that gives you access to learning tools, to ArcGIS credits, and also to the data set that we have made available to you for use on this for the hackathon. So make sure you join the platform, get hold of the data that we have there, and then you can bring in additional data from other sources that you might use to complement whatever we've given to you. Just make sure that you make your solution robust enough, but do not make it unnecessarily complex, so that you also can, so that it becomes explainable to whoever needs to look into your solution or the reviewers. Okay, so we'll be going straight into the to the training for today. Please pay attention, ask relevant questions, prompt your friends that you feel should be in this session right now. We also drop the link to the live session running via Zoom. We'll drop it in the chat so that you can also share with your colleagues. Just make sure you pay attention and be a part of the session. Thank you for joining us today. Let's have a great time learning. Thanks.
Wow, it's nice to be here again. So I will just walk you through a very simple solution, which is just like I'm building on the knowledge our first facilitator for the first week will walk you through how to find a distance between locations. And now we are using it to solve an health problem. Using your mind. Okay, so we just use primary and secondary schools because we know that if there is an accident or there is an health emergency, are they close? Is there any health institution closer to them? So what should be the appropriate distance we are going to use to measure that closeness? What if there is no any vehicle that they could use to handle that emergency, take the person involved in that health emergency to the closest hospital? Is it even trackable? How long is it going to take? So now this is around how to handle emergency health cases in our educational system, location and how close are they to accessing health facilities. So I'll just share my screen. Okay, this is my screen, and I hope you can see my screen. Okay, all right. So, and I'll just go to okay, one thing I want to say, first of all, we've mentioned this. This is a group which a lot of participants are using. Stop saving your personal work on this group. Don't save your work on this group. Number one, if you are building a solution and you saved it here, somebody might see it. He got a very brilliant idea and he can work on that, and your problem, what you have done, just a little bit of tweak will just optimize his own solution from yours. So please try not to save on this group. And what we'll be doing henceforth is anybody that saved his own personal work on this group, or anybody that is not authorized to save any file on the group, will immediately remove the file. Just like I'll just show you an example of few. These are like this person is not supposed to save this on this group. The same with this person. So this is an instructor who saves it so that it will be accessible to everybody. But these two people are not authorized. The same way we are just saying, I've removed some before and we'll keep on removing some. It might just be the only location where you save your work and you will lose it forever. So please, let's just abide with the rules to keep the group clean of the relevant data that we have. So just go directly to what we have for today. I have to create a map. So I'll go for classic map viewer. I prefer to use classic because let me say I'm not from this age. So I'll just, now this is my map. is empty. I have to bring in my layers. We should just notice. How do we bring layer? Now I'm not using the desktop app, I'm using the web. Whatever I'm doing here, the desktop can also do it and it will be published with a lot of functionality on the ArcGIS Pro. So now I will go to add layer and I will have to search for the layer I want to add. So the first layer I want to work with is schools. So I have Nigeria school sites here. So I'll just add it to my map. So I'll zoom to layer. Yeah, it has been added. This is a lot of data. You know what we always say, try and familiarize yourself with the features of the data and the respective variables so that you know what you want to do and you know how you have to focus. So I'll just go to my attributes table, and on my attribute table, this is the ID. It's not really important to me. This is the state code. Of course, I want to be able to filter to some state. This is the name of the school. This is the word. That's the admin level 3 in Nigeria. This is the category. Is it a secondary school? Is it a primary school? The standard, you have it. The management, if it's public, if it's private, if it's for NGOs, or is a faith-based for religious. So the education, if it's formal and informal, I believe most of them will be formal because these are schools. So now what I need to do, I want to focus my attention on Lagos. Like I love the states so much. So I will just have to go for Lagos. Then how do I do it? My colleague have also taught us how to use the filter on. So I'll go for the layer. You come to the content page. You see the filter here. After the symbol, the change style, you have the filter. So I'll click on the filter. So at this point, this add additional another expression always help me to add an expression with and option. You know, when you talk about expression, we have and or. So with and, but if I want to filter just a column with multiple options, I have to use this add a set, meaning I can say if it's a primary school or if it's a secondary school. So, but this is a school. So what I need now is I want to just get the location. So I'll go for the state. So this is my state. I'll go for the state code, where the state code is LA. LA stands for Lagos. It's not the LA in USA. So now I can just apply and zoom. We see that we've successfully. Now this is what we have. It's just only based. These are headfast school locations in Lagos. And you can also check the features, of course, and we see if we should go for density, if we should go for heat map, you know that the school is clustered around the mainland and the Ikorodu aspect. But then, this is not just what we want. We don't want to work with most schools. We already know that the tertiary institution like the university, they almost have a health facility within the campus which handles such an emergency. So we'll have to just filter just only primary and secondary school. That takes us back to the attribute table. One thing you need to know, always remember, go back to your attribute table so that you'll be able to figure out what you are paying your attention to and what you have to do. Now, this is where this category where we have secondary and is where we should also have primary. So I'll just go back to my filter. Now, filter, because I've already created the filter, it will ask me to edit because I can't create another filter anymore. It does on one layer. I'll come back to this place. Now, if I should, let me just show you one example. I go for this place. I said, okay, give me the school category, unique. Wow, is it the school? Was it school? Primary, yeah. Now we have primary, secondary, and now if I pick primary and I add another expression, I pick the schools category. Okay, now let's stop there. Let's just, since we are just trying to understand this thing more. Now these are successfully filtered only primary schools, right? But then I just don't need, I need to add secondary school to it. I go back to my filter. Now, if I add another expression and I said, for the category, give me secondary, add secondary school option to it, and I click on filter, it's automatically not return anything for me because that particular filter add expression I'm doing is working with and with I'm filtering just one column for two values. It will not work. So I have to take this out. And I also have to take this out. So I have to go for add set, add a set. So now look at it, this add a set said any of the following expression in this set is true. So that's what it's going to return. I can add as many as I want. Now I go for category, and I just need for my primary. I go for category again, I need for secondary. Yeah, I will add, okay, and I can add more. So I use the plus to add more set, and I go for primary. I notice that I pick pre-primary before. Now I want to add primary to it. Primary. Is this just the schools? We need mixed is also primary and secondary school together. So mixed is also very important. So we go for more, we add mixed. So what this expression is doing is any point at any row that each of these value is the category of the school is primary, it selects it, it return it. When it is secondary, it return it. As long as it is true, that's what it's going to return. Now I just set. So this is me building on the existing knowledge before that was introduced in the first week. Always remember, we always refer to what we do. So at this point, now we say we have this, but this is still very much. I cannot be doing my analysis for this, for the whole state. It's too much for me. So I want to focus in just one area. I want to go to a local government. I want to work on. Yes, I want to work on a just single local government. So which local government do I have to work on now? Well, let me just leave that for the next stage. So at this point, I can style my map. Yeah. Now, what should I use to style it? I want to style it with the category. Now I can pick, you see that we have 3 types of schools that we are here. So this styling, don't mind me, I'll change it later. But now let's just work with this so that we can move further because we have a lot to cover. So this is the schools. These are the schools we have, but I could just share this map. I can build different type of map from this, but then I want to bring health facility. That was the point. We want to calculate the proximity of each of these schools to an health facility. So I'll come back to, okay, I didn't save. Let me okay, yes. I'll come back to add layer. I have to add a different layer. Now, I've used this health facility data before. I'll just also have to bring it in. It takes like 10 seconds before it enters because we are working on the web. It's even very fast, not even up to 10 seconds. So the same thing I have to do, the same way I've done those filter, just watch me what I'm going to do. I just have to filter almost immediately. We don't have to stay long on it. So, okay, not this, head facilities. All right. Now for head facility, what do I need? I just have to pick, I want to leave all the head facility, but except what type of head facility do we not need here? There are some head facilities that really cannot handle some important, some emergency cases. So like we have community health center, of course, they can handle emergency case, but look at dispensary. We don't need dispensary. We don't need okay, I rather use a different picture. Yeah, let me use the type. Let me use type, not that. That has, okay, so we have health post dispensary. We don't need that, but we need primary health center, clinic, tertiary, and oh no, we don't need unknown. So I will just have to exempt those two from what we have here. So I'll rather use the add set. I'll remove this. So I'll use the add set to filter that because they are all in one column. So I'll click on types. So where is not, I want to exempt it. Where is not yes, the health post dispensary. So the second, I'll just also pick the same health type, the health facility type. Now I'm removing the unknown because I don't know which of the health type that is unknown. So I'll just remove this. But we've said something before. We want to focus our attention just on Lagos. So I'll go for now. I'm not using this. Okay, I'll go for Lagos, where the state code, okay, where the state code is Lagos. Okay, yeah, LA, where the state code is Lagos. So if I apply this, now we'll find out that we only have it in Lagos, but like I have said, I just want to focus in an area where I just want to focus in one local government, which is the admin level 2. I want to focus on it. So I want to pick this particular local government. So we just have to apply more filter. And I'll add another option, another condition, which is where my local government, yes, I'll call it local government name is, where my local government name is Alimosho, because I already know the name. Let me just type it. I'm not, because that's over 770 for local governments. So we click on this. Fine. Now, with what I have here, I have to filter just only this local government from my health location data. Now, if I'm working on my desktop, I can do spatial relation, but in this case, I might not be able to do that, and I don't have a lot of points to use for that. So I'll just show you how to wrangle your data. It's just a way. Now let's look at what we have here. This is the word local government. So this is the word code, and we see this is how the word code look like. And do we have any local government here? We don't have any column that is local government. So now how can I filter this local government? Now let's go to the health facility. We just look at the table. So with the health facility table, what do I have? And how can I use this particular table to filter that? Now, this is the word local government. So these are the words, and this word, we already know now that it only belongs to Alimosho, right? So how can I filter just only that place out of my health facility, my school location? So I have to use the LASAM. That is what it stands for. So even when I do this ascending, that's what it's giving me. And if I do descending, it's the same thing it's giving me. So you can verify from here that the local government code is this LA, sorry, the word code is this LASAM. So that is what we have to filter with. Now I go to my school, I go and apply filter. Now I already have filters that are working here, but then I want to add more filter. So I will add another expression. So this expression will be, I'm using the word code now. I'll say where the word code, this is the word code, where the word code starts with. So this is a way you can work it. It's just like using an SQL where it starts with this, which represents Alimosho local government. So I will filter, I'll just apply the filter. Now, voila, we are here. So you see this, I don't have to do more special drawing. The filter, this does not consume credit, and it just for you to know that there are a lot of techniques you can use to handle your problem, your solution, build your solution without using the same method that was used by everybody. And it's very simple. It's just for you to understand your data. That is one of the important things. Try and explore your data, know the variables there, the classes, the categories that are in your data. There you'll be able to do whatever you want to do. Now, if I just click on legend, you can see now this is what I have for my, this is what I have for my head, for my school location, my school types. But should I need to style this better? We need to style it better. So let's just go back. I will need something that represents hospital. That's what we need to do. We need something that represents hospital. So just like the heat map I was talking about, you could just do it here. It's very simple, and you see where it is clustered. You see the heat map with different color. The texture of the color will be so different from where you have fewer head facilities. So I'll go for this. I want to change my symbol. What should be the advisable symbol I can use? I can choose to use an image. So this is custom. I can just choose to use an image. But now this shape, what do I need? I need something that can represent an health facility. Is there anything with health here? Okay, let me not waste time with this. You can just try and look at it, explore each of these shapes. But now I'll just look for something. No, I'm not using alphabet. Okay, I could just use alphabet. Let me use health facility. So, and I can choose to reduce my, this is huge. So I have to reduce the size. I have to reduce the size. Just let me reduce it like 10. Let's see. Fine. This is okay. So this is health facility. Now you need to remember we are not differentiating the health facility anymore. We did not cite them based on each of the category or which of the type. Like if it's a primary health, is it a general hospital, is it a specialist? We did not do that because any health facility that can handle an emergency case before they refer to the specialist, right? That can handle, that can fix that problem. That is what we are just focusing on. So with this, I will have to go back to my, okay, I'll click OK. Now I'll go back to my shape, my school, meaning I have to change the symbol of my, because I'm having more of blue here. So I'll come over here to change the symbol of my school. So which of the symbols am I using? And okay, and one thing you should also notice here too is you see that this also helps us to do the count. So we know how many, this health facility is more of primary health facility before secondary. Okay, sorry for that. Now this is what we have for when it comes to the head, but then we just have to change the color. We use yellow for, oh wow. Okay. Okay, let me we use this. This too much. Okay, let me use this. Yes, so I'll just use this. Now we have our data. I'll go back to the detail. We have our data now. So what do we need to do? We want to do the calculations, the closeness of, whoa. Okay, sorry, I didn't know this was not saved. I will just return it back to the way it was before. So, okay, so I'll leave it for 10. Save. Yes. So okay, fine. Why does it go back? Yes, so, all right, I'll make it 10. Okay. Now I say, okay. Okay, I didn't finish it. Done. Okay. That was where the error was coming from. Okay, so you notice you must have to complete everything as well. So you don't have to come and start over from what you've done before. So I'll just come back here, finish up this. So I click on OK and I click on done. If you don't do this, it won't save. Now we want to go for the analysis, which schools are closer and which schools are far away. We use the proximity. So which schools have which schools have close access to health facility just to handle emergency. So we use the find nearest. Now, find nearest, we might have about 5 or 6 schools that are around, 5 or 6 health facilities that are around the school. It's just going to click the closest. So when you are checking for the find nearest, there are other factors you also have to think of. But then so we are starting from from the school, because the school is our starting point. We want to from the school find the nearest to the health facility. So to find the nearest location in what health facilities from the different layers. So this is the layer we name the school, this is the layer we name the health facility. Now I just want to use the line distance, but then you can use the drive, depends on your use case. You can use the drive time, you can use the driving distance, right? So when you use the driving distance, it returns the distance it will take for the drive time from that school to the health facility, and it also gives you a polyline shape from the school to the health facility. So these are different calculation you could use for the drive. You could use walking. What if I'm not trying to use is a rural area where they want to and there's no much vehicles which they could use. So any emergency, they just have to take the students or the people down to the hospital with leg. They have to trek. They could use walking distance. So we just keep this for now. And there are other functions you could use. You could also use a shape barrier. So this barrier layer is like I have polygon for this. Probably I'm bringing in my word polygon, which is another different boundary level. I'll bring it in. I'll say, okay, I don't want this particular school. So this particular school, if there is an emergency, I don't want them to go to the nearest neighbor, the neighboring boundary. They should find the nearest hospital or health facility within their boundary they are in. So there's where you have to use the barrier layer, but I'm not using it now. But for a more optimized solution, it's advisable you use it like an area that is a riverine area. You can use those barriers to demarcate it because there won't be time to be using boats for emergency case. So they should look for one that is closer, that is accessible through land. So, and then the other option here is the limit the number of the nearest location. So I could take it to be 2. I don't want to just find one location. I want to find 2, but I'm leaving it for 1 because it's a training. So it depends on your use case. So, and I want to, if I've searched for health facility for more than 100 kilometers and I could not find, don't return, just stop. You get it? So you should not search more than 100 kilometer radius from the school to an health facility. But in this case, I could also limit it to just 20 kilometers. But this way I'm using now is kind of, the distance is not much, so it won't really tell any more different for now, even if I have to reduce this number, because I don't think there will be anyone that will be 2 kilometers apart for you to find the nearest, right? So now it's going to give me this name. I can I can rename it. So what it's giving me is the nearest Nigeria health facility to facilities. So I might have run this before, so I'll just call it for training. So this is for the training class. Training 8. So this is where I will have to include the route layer, but now I don't need it because I'm just only using line distance. If I'm using drive time, I have to include the route layers here. So I'll need to check now what extent. I want to use the map extent. No, I should have been able to change the extent. So use current map extent. So for this, I'll just have to reduce my map to make sure that it covers all the, to make sure it covers all the points. So I'll check what is the credit is going to use, how many credits. Now it shows that I'm doing it for 3,235 and it's using 3.2 credits for this calculation. That's why I have to limit it to the area I want to do it for. It's also very advisable you limit it to your area of interest. You don't do it for the general population or the general location, like probably for your state, for admin level 1, not really advisable. Just try and focus on where your solution, where you are driving your solution. So now I'll click on run analysis. So this will take like 30 seconds to run. So before that, let's see, we'll just check what do we have, what question do we have here? I'll check. Yes. Is there any question I might have to pay? I might have to answer why this is running. That was directed to me. We just wait for this to finish. Yeah, we'll handle that. So we just wait for the analysis to be done. Then we'll see what other ways we can use to style this and how best can we also present these results. One thing you should remember, we are working with time in the classes, but there are a lot. These are just a simple way of introducing you to a lot of possibilities you can accomplish with the data. So that is what we are doing here. Okay, it's done. We just let it to come up. All right. Now, let's check what we have. Now we see the route. So this is, now we can see, can we see what we have here? So I'm just looking for a perfect example to use. Okay, now these are, okay, let me use one of these. I'm using this particular hospital. What's the name of the hospital? Let's see. What's the name of the hospital? It's a primary health center in Alimosho, and the name is Satamiri Hospital. Yeah, so we can see that this particular, if there is an emergency with the number of schools that is clustered around this hospital, that we will be having a lot. This hospital have to handle a lot around attending to patients. So now we check from this school to the hospital, what is the distance? How do we now check that? Now we find out that these are the two layers that were added. Let's investigate them one after the other. So these are the two layers that we added. One of them is the poly line. So this is the line. It shows that the nearest Nigeria health facility to Nigeria school site 28. So this is called the connecting lines. These are the line we are talking about. So if you want to check the distance, this line you will be able to get it from. So you find out that this distance is showing, this is already 0.77 kilometer. So like if there is no vehicle, how do you have to walk almost 1 kilometer to a hospital for an emergency case? This is where you have to build your own narrative around the analysis you have done. So the same way we could check this. So, and then you see everything we have. We'll just, okay. Now, you see what is the distance? This is almost 1 kilometer distance. And then it's showing you, it will be showing the rack. It shows that for all the health facilities that connect this particular hospital, which one is the nearest? Okay, the near rank, we see that is 1. So it's not really, the rank is not really important to us. What is important to us now is the distance to the health facility. But you know, you could also use roads You could also use routes to do your analysis. It will be height. It will be just straight distance, straight line, but then it will not be the route. So, and the route will also have to go with the road traffic at that particular time when you are doing your calculation. So when you are doing the analysis and the distance to the health facility, those have to be factored in. The traffic, it have to go through and all that. So just put it in your mind when you are trying to do a similar analysis and you are solving a problem relating to how does health, the proximity from any location to health facility. So I'll put on the shape map again, sorry, the points, and now we see what we have. So what better way could you have done for this? What do you think we can do for and to optimize to be able to detect this without having to look at it one after the other? We could label this fine. Now, if I click on this and I go to my attribute table, we'll be able to see the distance. So this is the distance. Now, what should we do? We can calculate, we can classify this data so that we have the one with high risk. Now, if I want to do the high risk, I will have to use a threshold from 0.5 upward is high risk. So any school that is far away from health facility with 0.5 kilometer is high risk to me. So that is what I'm going to use for my okay. So you could also build your own use case around what you think worked for you best. So if that is what you have, then you just have to create a new. Now you could do add feed. Now I'll call it distance. Yeah, distance classification. Distance class. Okay, I can't use this. I have to use a camel case. And you know, this is the field name, distance. Now, what I can do now is I can use the better name formatting here. Yeah, distance classes. So is it going to be string? Yes, it's going to be string. And what is it going to be? So default, I will just leave it. I'll do the add. Now it has added that to my file. So my layer is blank. Now what do I have to do? I have to do calculate. I have to do calculate. So with the calculate, I could use SQL and I could use the arcade. So let me just go for this. So arcade is almost like a JavaScript programming language. So where are you? Why is it taking long? Okay, so what I'm looking for is the distance. So we'll just look for the distance. Okay, this is the distance. Now I want to add this distance to now what I want to do is I want to do the classification if this distance is greater than 0.5, I want to return Okay, I'll just use the dummy name. So don't mind me for now. So X where can I test? Let me just test this. So is expecting this. No, let me use the SQL. Sorry. Let me just use the SQL. SQL would be far much preferable for me. I would have just prefer to use Python. So let me use the SQL. Now, yes. So this is what I want. I want to do the where is the distance? Okay, this is the distance. Greater than 0.5. So let me validate. Okay, what's the error? Saying syntax. All right. So why is this? Why do I have syntax error? Okay, we have time against us here, so there won't be time for us to be debugging this. So this also shows that even if your instructor is not like he knows it all, so he always also encounter error, but it's just debugging. So we can do this debugging in our next class. But let me just use the styling to let me use the styling to do it here. So I'll just go for this symbology. I'll go when I go for the symbology, I pick the which layer do I need? I need the distance. So from the distance, what do I need? I just have to use this to symbolize my work. I'll click on options. Now I need to classify. Let's just use this. I was trying to introduce a different method to it. Now, what do I need? I need to specify how many classes I needed. Fine. Now we can see that I have the one that are lesser and I have one that are more. So from here, we have to pick a color. What type of color should I use? I want to use two different colors. So I will look for a divergent color that is opposite each other. So I'll use this. I'll click on this. Now we've been able to see what we have that, okay, I can reverse this. I can reverse this color, but if you want to do that, you want to use the green or the red to represent the one that are at risk and one that are not at much risk, you'll be able to do that. So let me just stop here because of the time that we have running against us. But the arcade part and the SQL part, I will come up with the equation you will have to use. I'll share it on the Telegram group so you can use it to complete it, and I'll also share the final results as well with that. So with this, we've been able to style our map Now, when we check this, we've been able to see which area. We know that with the green, we know that with just the threshold which I have used, we know now that the green represents those areas with high risk, because that is the one that is more than 5. That's the one that is more than, yes, 0.5 kilometer. But something you have to notice that the area we are working in is very small, and this place is a high dense area with large population, so the distance is not quite much. But if you are using your solution for a rural area, you will have a long distance. So that is what you use to define your threshold due to the population in that location and the other factors. So with this, we've been able to see which schools are farther away from the hospital and which schools are closer. And if you want to make a recommendation, like we see this school, we see these schools here, they are all coming to this location. But if a school is being cited here, you find out that these schools will easily access this. So if the health facility is being cited here, you notice that this school will easily access this health facility with closer proximity. So those are what you have to put in, you have to think about, like, does this fit the type of solution you want to build or not? So the next part is for me to share my map. I'll just have to save. So we call it a school to health facility proximity. So schools to health facility proximity. Okay, proximity. So now I can add my tag. I can add my tag, but then I'll just have to leave there. So next I save my map. Now that I've saved my map, what else? Do I just want to leave my map like this? Am I going to share it like this? So I can go to, I want to share my map. Now, this is where I will say I want to share my map and where I want to add it. I don't want it to add it to I want it to be in the Geoportal. Yes, I can update that. So, but I don't want to share it with the group. So this is something you need to do. You are not sharing with the group, please don't share, don't click on with the group so that it does not, everybody on the group does not see your solution. Now, I can choose to embed this. I can choose to share as a web map. So we have different web map. Here, I'll just share with the basic. And this basic, you can style your widget. Now you check, there are some other one you can use charts to view your map. There are some they call the exhibits. Now this you can add, you can add attachments to your viewer. This is where you do picant, explore different way you can share your map. So there are others that also have interactive legend. This is interactive legend. This is a media map. Just check it. And this is the one you have to probably check a close proximity to a particular location. The location I'm in, what is the closest health facility within 5-meter radius? You just search that. It helps you to create a cycle, and you see the health facilities that are there for you to work with. But now this is just a basic map. I'll just go for basic and I'll go to create. I'll go to create, done. So I'll leave us set all features as set as default. Now I'll leave all my settings as default, but you can look at what you can also tune here to give you a better feel of your work. I'll just go for publish. Yes, I've confirmed I want to publish it. If I click on publish and I'm publishing it publicly, I will have, now I've published, and I can click on copy the link. I can click on anywhere I want to share. But if you are building a solution you want to share with the people who are going to validate your work, so this is how you copy the link and you share. Then I click on launch. So you see, this is different from the map we're working on. This is smart map, but there are other things you can add to it to make your map look better. So try it out. And okay, I think my time, I've overspent my time. So the other part I would have said is the data set that we have, but maybe we'll just have to take that to our next class. So okay, so this is what we have for you today. I don't know if you enjoy what we presented. So it's something linear, very simple, but you can advance more of your solution. So now I'll stop sharing, and if there is, okay, all data. So let me just try and go through some of the questions. All data used in this class are available. Yes, okay, sorry. I didn't even know that was my colleague. So how can we insert color in a layer, please? Wow, color, I didn't get that. Thomas, I didn't get your question. You might have to just ask it on the Telegram group.
All right, thanks a lot, Patrick. It's been an interesting time with everyone today. And just like you can see on the screen again, we still have the timeline. Just ensure that you are attuned with the timeline. And we're going to be meeting again on Friday, same time, 11 a.m. West African time. We hope that you will also be here to join us, and also you'll be coming with your team members. Please remember to register for the hackathon if you are here to do that. And then if you need to have someone join you on the hackathon, I think this is time for you to form your team. Remember to bring your team in, bring your best to the game, build out the solution. Remember what you learned during the hackathon launch. Don't forget those tips. They are very important. They are things to guide you through the development of your solution. And then we look forward to seeing the brilliant and the amazing things that we're building out during this hackathon. So it's another day, and then we trust that you have a great day ahead. Please, if you have any question, if you have any concern, if there are issues that you face in anything, you can always just hop onto the Telegram platform and drop your concerns, your questions, and other things there. We always pick them up to support you. You always have our support, but the only thing you may not get is we building the solution for you. So we want you to build it. This is why you're having the training. Just make sure that you're bringing the best of your best to building out your solution. Bring out different, bring on different domains to also support you in the build up of the solution. So it's a great time, and then we look forward to seeing your solution, like I mentioned. Have a great day ahead, everyone. Thank you for joining us today.
Babatunde Temitope is currently unavailable.